I don't wanna be just someone that's new. I speak my mind so free, so you could hear the truth. Yeah, I know that we all have.
This is the Truth for Youth podcast, and I am your host, Micah Murphy. Welcome back. If you are new to the podcast, hey, no big deal. It's a brand new podcast. But this is our third episode, so I do encourage you, go back, check out episode 1 and 2. The first one is just simply an introduction to this podcast, kind of who I am and why I'm doing the podcast and what the podcast is about. The second one, we talked about worrying, and in fact, worrying less. I think that's a great episode, especially everything that's going on right now with the coronavirus. So I encourage you to go back and listen to that. Also, we're going to build on that today. So we're going to be talking about, as you've seen in the title, control and being a control freak. Now, it may not necessarily be in the sense of a control freak, like maybe that popped into your mind immediately as far as that just has to have everything done their way, right? Like everything is they're in charge of, and it's going to be done their way or no way. That super strong type A personality. That's not necessarily what I mean by the control freak. I mean, it could be, but I'm talking about more of a control freak when it comes to certain things or certain parts of our life. Now, if you're like me, I don't have the super strong type A personality. Now, I can take charge and I can lead. That's fine with me, but I'm not the one that I have to do that. But I will say there are certain things in my life where I feel like I should be in control of, and that becomes a struggle when we're talking about being a Christian and leaving God in control versus me or versus you trying to control everything. And again, with everything the way it's happening right now with the COVID-19 and just it seems like there's this lack of control in the sense that we can't really control a whole lot of things in our life right now. That's why I wanted to kind of talk about this topic because I think it's going to hit home here. But this is also applicable even if you're listening to the podcast right now and the virus is long gone, been cured, healed, whatever. It's not affecting anything. There's still this struggle that we have with control in our life, with us controlling versus maybe allowing God to control. Look, I've been around long enough to know that even people that say, oh, no, I'm good. I'm a Christian. I've given everything up to God and God's in control of my life. Yeah, maybe not, right? Like there's probably something in your life that you're still holding on to, that you're still trying to control. The actions and words are two different things. And actually talking about this reminds me of the picture. You've probably seen the picture where it's a split screen. And on one side, you have this perfect looking, just gorgeous human being, right? That just looks flawless. But then on the other side of the picture, you see the same individual maybe with no makeup or looks rough. Hair is just out of control. They're not sucking in, they're maybe sitting slumped over or something, and it just looks completely different, right? Like you see all the flaws. And the caption is Instagram versus reality, right? You know what I'm talking about. And sometimes I feel like that's what we do with control. Like we say, oh, yeah. God's in control. I'm leaving up to him. But in reality, that's not really what we're doing. We're saying that, but our actions are not backing that up. So today we're going to look at a little bit more of this conflict, if you will. And here's the thing. When we become Christians, it's not like we automatically give up complete control of our life and all of a sudden we are now this superior human being that completely gives God all the control and it's a real easy cruise control life. That would be kind of nice if that were the way it worked, but in reality, it's not. What happens is every single day, every single morning when you wake up, you have to decide, am I in control today or is God going to be in control today? And what happens usually, some days, or I shouldn't say usually, but what happens some days you wake up and that decision's not real hard, right? Like that decision is, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna give God control today. I'm gonna live by Him. I'm gonna spend time in the Word, and I'm gonna follow His commands. But then there's other days we get up and it's not that easy. Maybe we're already struggling with something. We've been worrying about something, or we have this issue that's in our life that's just making life really difficult, right? And we're feeling a little bit maybe under the gun of we've got to do this and do that, or things are just not going to pan out. Those are those difficult days, right? Those are those days that are kind of like test days, and the days where you've really got to push through and allow God to be in control versus you. Now, we're talking about this topic of things being kind of completely out of whack right now, because that's what's happening, right? COVID-19, things are crazy in our world right now, especially in the United States. We have so many things that are happening as far as, government shutdowns, quarantine. These businesses can only operate these certain hours or can only have capacity to this certain extent. Recently we were told the beaches are closed down. I live here in Venice. We're on the beach. Now the beaches are closed, and parks and public, these public places are closed down. And it's like more and more of a quarantine, more and more of social distancing. And honestly, we don't know what's going to happen day to day. Like, it is literally just crazy to the point where in the morning we could wake up and the news or the media or whatever could tell us, hey, there's been a cure, and the spread has stopped. We can start opening businesses, and students, you can go back to school, or your activities can be resumed. Or we could wake up in the morning and the news be, oh my gosh, the virus has spread tenfold. This is getting out of control. We're going even to more of a quarantine, more of a lockdown, where you're confined to your houses and you're not even allowed to get out of your house for any kind of emergency. It's just, we don't know what's happening. Moral of the story is there's just a lot of things that, guess what? We are not in control over. We're just not. And it's a lot of unknown, a lot of uncertainty. And these are the times I feel like we tend to do one of two things. When there's a lot of uncertainty in your life, or when things seem to kind of be out of control, it doesn't necessarily have to be this virus, but just maybe all of a sudden things are kind of spiraling out of control in your life, I think we usually take two actions. One, we either really go to super control freak and we just start making all these crazy irrational decisions, and we just take action, and we just grab the bull by the horns, the old saying, and you just start running and doing whatever you want to do to try to control the situation. That's one side. Now, here's the flip side of that. We have some people that they just tend to shut down. All of a sudden, if life's so uncertain and things are so unclear and crazy, they just shut down. Like, just won't take action. Maybe just lay in their bed all day, or just stay laying on the couch, or just veg out on video games or Netflix or whatever, right? And just get to the point where they're not taking any action or doing anything. And it's like, woe is me. I'm going to throw a pity party. I'm the innocent victim. I can't really do anything, so I'm just not going to do anything. And I'm going to wait for either God to do something, or I'm going to wait for the government or man or somebody else to do something to help this situation move along. But here's the problem. Both of those things are not the right decision. We kind of fall in between that, if you want to even say that. We can't just shut down and not do anything. But we also can't go completely on our own and take control of everything. Instead, what we should do as Christians is we should pray. We should seek God and say, okay, God, life is crazy right now. Like, I don't know which way is up. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I don't know if I should do this or should do that, or if my sports are going to continue, or what's going to happen with college, or what's going to happen with school, or my grades, or whatever it is that you're worried about or stressed about, or, the uncertainty. You pray to God and you say, God, look, I need your help. I need to rely on you. I need your strength. I need you to literally calm me down at this moment. Give me some peace. give me some direction, and help me to know how to keep moving forward. Because guys, that's the key to a lot of life, is just keep moving forward. Things are going to get difficult. Things are going to be, uncertain. It doesn't mean you just stop. It means maybe you slow down a little bit. Maybe you, instead of that running pace that you're at, now you have to maybe take a few baby steps, right? But you're still putting one foot in front of the other, and you're just making your way through the day. I want to go over a couple passages to help us to have that right mindset of God being in control. The first one is Psalm 46:10. And many of us are familiar with this passage because it's the one that says, "Be still and know that I am God." All right, many of you may have heard that passage. If you haven't, it's a great passage. But here, I want you to hear a variation of that, a version from God's word, and this is what it says: "Let go of your concerns." Think about that. Let go of your concerns, then you will know that I am God. I rule the nations. I rule the earth. That's God in control. Listen to that again. Let go of your concerns. You, listening to this podcast right now, let go of your concerns. Then what? Then you will know that I am God. I am God. I am in control is what he's saying. And he says, I rule the nations. I rule the earth. Like I created everything. I rule the earth. Take a deep breath. Relax for a minute. Realize that God is in control. He rules the earth. He created it all. We don't have to be in control. Guys, I know it's fun to be in control at times, but sometimes it's not fun to be in control, right? When you have to make some really hard decisions or decisions that you don't know which way to go. Do I go this way or do I go that way? Relax. Let your concerns go to God and let him be in control. Here's another passage I like. Colossians chapter 1, verses 17. I'm going to read you again a few different versions. The first one is the Message, and this is what it says. For everything, absolutely everything above and below, visible and invisible, rank after rank after rank of angels, everything got started in him, meaning Jesus, and finds its purpose in him. Finds its purpose in Jesus. He was there before any of it came into existence, and he holds it all together right up to this moment. Jesus was there before it all began. He is in control. It says everything above, below, visible, invisible, no matter the rank. He was there before it, and he holds it all together. All right, here's another version of just kind of the, more condensed version. It says the New Life version is this: Christ was before all things, and all things are held together by him. All things are held together by him. And then here's another one from the Voice, and it says, he has always been. He's always been. It is in his hand that holds everything together. And I don't know why, but I have this vision of Legos. Maybe because I have 3 boys and, they play with Legos a ton, and my youngest still kind of plays with Legos some, but I just have this vision of Legos. And I'm thinking of them in my hand, right? Like maybe I've built something and I'm holding it in my hand and I'm saying, all right, I was before the Legos ever got built, right? This thing that I've built, I'm before it all. And now it's in my hand. I can do whatever I want to. I can throw it on the ground and watch all the little pieces shatter, or I can gently hold it and leave it as it is. Or I can put it on a shelf, or I can put it in a shadow box, or I can play with it, I can do whatever, but I'm in control. It's in my hand. That last version that I read, it says, he has always been. It is in his hand that holds everything together. Guys, Jesus is holding us all together. And no matter what it seems like right now with this craziness in this world, it's not a random craziness. Yes, it may not be that Jesus is actually, masterminding some of this because we're sinful humans, and that's a whole different topic where we make decisions and things just happen because, we're honestly a sinful people and we've made bad decisions. But God is saying, look, I'm still in control. I can stop it when I want to stop it. I can let it keep going. But ultimately, I'm in control, and I've got a master plan for all of this. For all of this. So trust me. All right, that's what we talked about last week. Trust me. It's like that saying, and you've probably heard it before, let go and let God. We talked about the verse a second ago that said, let go of all your concerns, right? So let go and let God. Let go of those concerns. Quit trying to control your life, and instead, let God control it. Let Him be God, right? We need to quit playing God at times and trying to control things. And again, let me reel this into maybe a more applicable scenario because, look, I know what we're experiencing right now is not the norm. The whole COVID-19, that is not normal, and we will get back to a sense of normalcy, at some point in the near future, I believe. But what happens when we get back to normal life? That doesn't mean we're all of a sudden become this superhuman where all of a sudden we give everything back to God, right? It goes back to what I was saying earlier. There's I think all of us have this part of us that we just want to try to control certain things in our life. For me, I'll tell you what mine was when I was in high school, and I actually alluded to this last week a little bit in the last podcast, is the dating. I didn't ever want to give God control of my dating life. I was like, look, God, I'll give you, all these other things in my life. I'll turn it all over to you. But I want to hold on to the dating because I know the type of girl that I like, right? I have certain looks that I was going after, or I had certain personality or whatever. And honestly, it came down to a lack of trust. I just didn't trust God. I honestly envisioned this, little nerdy girl in youth group that didn't exist. It was just in my mind, this little nerdy girl that knew the Bible inside and out and was just, had never sinned and just, I don't know, just this vision of this girl. And I thought, if I ever let go and let God, if I give God control, that's who I'm going to end up with. And I don't want to end up with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, if that's you. But that I had just created this person in my mind that didn't exist, but I don't know. It's like my mind just started running wild, and I started thinking of this bad scenario in my mind of what it was. And again, God's like, you dummy, I know what's best for you. You don't think I'm going to, work things out according to what's best for you? Of course I am, but you've got to trust me. And so I always struggled in my dating, with dating girls and it not working out, or some, thought, okay, this could be it, but, it didn't, or whatever. And just constantly, especially in college, one girl, the next girl, and these dating relationships or whatever. And it just, things were not working out, or, I just never had this peace until I finally just said, okay, God, I'm done. I was getting towards the end of that college career, and I said, I'm done. God, I'm going to completely trust you because things are not working out. What do I need to do? What do I need to do for you to really make everything just work out according to your will and according to your plan? And that is when things turned. That is when God started doing miraculous things in my life. That's when He brought Lois Ann into my life. When I finally gave up control and allowed Him to be in control. That was the game changer. That was the difference maker. Another area that I struggled, and this was even, after I was married, and I thought I'd learned my lesson that, I'm giving God control, I'm allowing Him to do all these things, but for some reason, I had it made up in my mind that I wanted to be this real estate investor, that I was going to have all these rental properties and I was going to do everything my way and I was going to be in control. And I think, honestly, looking back now, it feels like God said, okay, if that's what you really want, all right, let's see how that pans out. And man, guys, I had headache after headache after headache because of decisions that I made because I was trying to remain in control. When God was like, that's not the ultimate plan that I had for you, or you're going about it the wrong way anyways. It's not that he didn't want me to have real estate. It's just I went about it my way. And because I went about it my way, I had a lot more stinking headaches than I should have. Guys, let God be in control. I'm going to leave you with this today. God loves you. He is in control. Think about that image of the Legos, right? He is in control. If you will just trust him, allow him to be the Lord of your life, every day you've got to make that decision. Is it going to be me or is it going to be God? And let God be the Lord of your life. Let him be in control. He does a lot better job of being God than you do or than I do. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. Hey, I love you guys. If there's anything I can do for you, reach out to me. You can reach out to me through social media or through email. Either way, I'm here for you. I want to try my best to help you have a more successful life and a more fulfilled and purposeful life in Christ. Please share this podcast. Guys, if you're finding value in the podcast, please, that's how this podcast spreads, is for you taking it, listening to it. Look, I'm only asking for, 15 to 20 minutes a week. I'm doing this every week. I want you to take some time to listen to it while you're exercising or driving or whatever, just to get a little bit of truth in your life. I think you'll find it very beneficial. Again, guys, that's it for the podcast today. I love you. Be good. Stay healthy during these times, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
I don't wanna be just someone that's new. I speak my mind so free, so you could hear the truth. Yeah, I know that we all have